to Aesthetic TV. I'm Stuart Brazell, coming to you from the stage of the Aesthetic Show in Las Vegas. In recent years, there's been an explosion of TV programming featuring plastic surgeons and other aesthetic specialists. For example, Dr. 90210, Botched, and most recently, the Celebrity Plastic Surgeons of Beverly Hills, where elite Beverly Hills specialists treat their A-list patients so they can look their best while revealing professional and personal aspects of their own lives. They utilize the media to show new techniques and procedures, but must maintain a delicate balance between respecting the patient and being educational while hyping it up a bit to provide entertainment value. But as entertaining as these types of shows can be, they can also be very effective tools for marketing aesthetic practices. With the increased number of online networks and other broadcast venues such as Netflix, YouTube Red, and Hulu, almost any practice can use the power of TV to reach its intended audience. Joining us today to talk about the power of reality TV are the stars of the Celebrity Plastic Surgeons of Beverly Hills. First, I'd like to introduce Dr. Craig Ziering, a leading authority in hair transplantation surgery.
Pleasure.
Cosmetic surgeon Dr. Robert Rey, who I believe is also running for president of Brazil. Is that correct?
That's all. That's all.
No big deal.
I almost won last time.
Welcome Dr. David Amron, plastic surgeon and liposuction surgery specialist. And last but not least, welcome Dr. Jason Diamond, one of our top facial plastic and reconstructive surgeons.
Thank you.
Let's watch a preview of the new season of Celebrity Plastic Surgeons.
Beverly Hills is the capital of plastic surgery. It is the most competitive place on earth for a surgeon. It is the capital of beauty. Beverly Hills is a very small place. The top of the mountain is a very small place.
For sporty days, nothing above 100,000. I told you.
These are the top plastic surgeons on earth.
Dr. Ziering, let's start with you. How has your TV show affected your professional life as a practicing surgeon in Beverly Hills?
Well, it's been extremely interesting for us, and the main thing for me is my goal is to educate people about what cosmetic procedures, and in particular for us, hair restoration can do for them. And the TV is the best avenue to get that information out to the public and just increase public awareness and education.
Has it been the same for you, Dr. Amron?
Well, absolutely. You know, television is still a great venue to get the message out there and to make people more aware about things that we do. And I think the show does a great balance about combining the insight in terms of being a surgeon and the stuff we do and the personal lives that we have.
And Dr. Diamond?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I noticed that when we first started, when Robert started Dr. 90210 back in the early 2000s, the mainstream population didn't even really understand what plastic surgery was on a whole. And after 90210 got rolling, people started to understand that this is something that could be available to everybody. It wasn't just for the highest level of Hollywood celebrities. This could be something achievable for people all over the country and all over the world. And so to me, that was the biggest, the most impactful aspect of it that I saw, and I still see it to this day, that we still are educating people about that.
And Dr. Ray, I'm sure you have something to add.
You know what? We have a lot of fun, and it was the purpose of the show to be fun. People come home at night, they're stressed, they're tired. Life is just difficult. So we create a light show, but the foundation of the show is actually relatively serious.
So let's elaborate. What role does reality TV play in patient perceptions of the risk and benefits of plastic surgery? Whoever wants to take it.
I think the first thing to understand with that, really even going a step backwards from that, all of us now get like social media responses, emails, phone calls, and what they're saying most of the time is, I didn't know that could be done. And I think that's really important, and it's what we were all talking about. There's so many procedures out there that people had no idea you can do. Not just the technique change that we have from the strip surgery to one at a time to robotic surgery, but the fact that we do facial hair, we do men and women, we do eyebrows, and the same for all of us within our subspecialties, that there's so many procedures like that. But it's important to give a, it's not all about, when you look at cosmetic procedures, you have to make sure that the expectation of a patient can be met, and you have to make sure that their goals are realistic. And it's not all about Hollywood and glam. And I think what we try to do with the serious side of the medical procedures is show both the risks and the benefits. Because anytime you go under the knife and have a procedure, you've got to weigh those things out. And we take our profession extremely seriously. And so that's important for patients to get to know.
How difficult is it to produce unique and interesting television content when there are so many other reality TV shows on air these days? There's a lot of competition.
Really? Really? You're asking that question?
You're like, we have Dr. Rey.
Yeah, I think we did actually a good job of it. I was concerned about how things were going to be blended in terms of the seriousness of the surgeries that we do and the patient interactions, and then the fun life that we have too. And I think we do a good balance of that in the show. Actually, I find it when I watch it over and over again, I kind of fast forward through the surgeries, which of course is a serious thing, and am entertained by the enjoyment part of it, and the fun that we have. But actually, next season, hopefully we'll do something that's even more meaningful and get into things that are really truly helping underprivileged kids and stuff like that.
Yeah, how do you choose the patients for your show?
They send in letters. We get about 400 letters, and we, by law, we cannot not charge, but we charge $1, and at least that's the way I do it. And I personally get about 400. We used to think it'd be impossible to get a patient because the show is shown worldwide, and they are basically naked, but
hey, naked's in though, right?
naked is it. I like it.
Naked's the new clothing.
Naked's the new clothes.
So actually, they beat down the door to be on the show, and it doesn't make a lot of psychological, sociological sense, but we actually have to select out of the 400, 5 or 6.
And then I'm sure you have to evaluate factors such as intelligence, psychological issues, emotional problems, body dysmorphia.
Well, I would say these are the same things we have to evaluate on a daily basis anyway. So for me, I like to choose people who are really going to highlight the essence of the procedures that we're doing on that particular person. Somebody who's a good candidate, who's really going to get the result the procedure is intended to create. But as far as the psychological issues, we deal with this every day anyway. We don't want to pick somebody with a poor psychological profile because it's not for TV. We don't. So I would say that's not even really an issue. It's for me. It's about picking people who are really the public will really get to see what is that procedure designed to do and what did it do.
Our show, reality, and it's so interesting how the TV world has changed so much, but we wanted to keep the real in the reality part of things, right? So our patient selection process and the emotional process that the patients and we go through are real, as well as, during our show, we had a near-death accident potentially with Dr. Amron in a glider crash. And that was all real. It wasn't staged, and the emotional change that went through with him. But it's everyday people have these same kind of events in their life that have an impact like that. And I think that's what people bonded with, along with the fact that everyone's interested in what's going on in Hollywood, right? You can't go to the grocery store and not see a magazine that talks about something going on in gossip in Hollywood. And everyone's interested in that. But that just kind of gets people's attention, kind of like a beautiful woman gets someone's attention. But it's the substance is what keeps someone's focus and keeps them coming back. And we've got a lot of people that keep writing to us saying, we want to know more, we want to see more, we want to understand more about your lives, but more about what you guys do. And that really is a big plus for us. We feel really good about the fact that we're helping, and all of us feel we change lives.
But I think with reality television, it's got to be entertaining too. And I struggle with this point of it. We kind of want to go there and just do our work and stuff like that and be good, boring doctors, but it's got to have some entertainment value for reality TV. Otherwise, it's just another Discovery Health program, and it's a different sort of audience you're appealing to.
Yeah, people are definitely looking to be entertained.
They are.
So the onus vis-a-vis 300 channels is that if you don't get a platform, whatever we are teaching, which is different options and the risk of surgery, goes unheard. So it's a delicate balance between science. The foundation is science. But it's like you go on a date, Stuart. You're a perfect looking woman. You go on a date.
Tell me more.
You go on a date, and if you try to be perfect, the date goes badly.
It's boring.
It's the imperfections that are interesting. So we, they literally just turn on the cameras and we live our lives. And I think that's why the show did so well. because surgery was already on other channels, Discovery Health and other channels, and it didn't do so well. We all participated in those channels as well. It's when the cameras followed us home and saw that our dog also pees on the carpet, that our wives also yell at us. It's that real element. So, very sad. The plane he almost died on the show. Me kissing the model, of course, was staged. But the rest is all real. And so we do that totally cognizant that the criticism by the various organizations in cosmetic and plastic surgery. So we take it, we push the envelope almost to the limit. But once we do that and we live our real lives, and we're all kind of happy people, we self-chose for that reason. We're very good with the scalpel, but we're very happy people, because then when the ratings is worldwide, very high ratings, once we got that platform, then we can say, by the way, these are the choices you have. Be careful, if your health is not good, you're gonna die in surgery. Body dysmorphia, 15% of the people that come to us have a neurosis or a psychosis. So, and we have to select them out, So, but you cannot teach unless you have a platform. So it is difficult at times to live our real lives, but we do it. And we do it recognizing the risk. But big risk, big gain in life.
But about the real life thing, one thing that we tried to get across in this show, and the producer wanted to get across, is the camaraderie that we have. That's what's a little bit different about this show, that we really actually are friends. We hang out together, we laugh together. We were together last night until almost midnight laughing and talking about things. So hopefully that came across in the show too, that we really are
Let's flip
friends.
the script a little bit. I want to talk about, let's say I'm a physician interested in producing my own reality TV show. How should I go about it? Do I hire a bunch of expensive producers and a crew and go for this like slick Hollywood look, and I have to feel that I need to do that to create a compelling program? Or do I just grab my cell phone, record my surgeries, put it on social media, live stream? What's the best way to do it?
I think you have to have an angle. You have to decide kind of what is the angle you want. Is it about fun? Is it about camaraderie? Is it about the seriousness of it? As it get more philosophical in terms of the struggles that we have? I think you need to have a little bit of an angle to set yourself apart.
I would also say that you would want to be careful about what you put out there too, and without mentioning names, there, some people put some things out there on TV, and the results aren't really worthy of being out there, and then that can kind of hurt your reputation and hurt your brand. And I know several situations that occurred, so I don't think you just want to grab and run and throw everything out there that you can. You need to sort of be selective and make sure that what you're putting out there is worthy of the...
I've seen some intense stuff just on Instagram videos.
Yeah, I think that today, the platforms have changed. They're so varied, right? But the important thing that keeps getting brought up is, one, is you got to be yourself. You got to be who you really are. We work on a show together because we each have individual talents along with individual styles with our patients, right?
You make up a super crew.
Right. So, there's the styles that you are with your patient. If you're not a, quote, Doc Hollywood, don't try to be a Doc Hollywood on TV. It's pointless. Your goal in doing that, and like we said, is we want to increase our practice, but the reason we want to increase our practice is through education, and it's just like in the past when there was print. That was the key way to go, right? Then you've got TV, you've got internet, and now with internet, there's so many different forms that you can use, and it doesn't really matter what form you choose as long as you represent yourself well, your specialty well, and you're respectful of the profession and the patients, and you just got to figure out what works for you. The number one thing you have to do is perfect your craft, right? Because we're all surgeons first.
Yes.
Our obligation is to the patient that we have in the room at that time, and that's the most important thing. And I think that all of us take that super seriously. Then whether you're just naturally fun and entertaining like the three of us, or you have to have training for that. No. To do that all comes. But it is again. All of us learn. You talk about that, but part of medical training is speaking. Right?
Of course.
We give lectures. We talk to people, and you have to get comfortable with that.
Because all of that public speaking, it makes your patients trust you. It makes people want to come see you.
But the TV and reality TV isn't for everyone. There are a lot of people who are very comfortable in a one-on-one situation in private, but freeze up and are not good.
Deer in headlights.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
and that comes across, and
a
that's
lot
a
of-
mistake.
It's a
if
lot
you,
of work
if you
to do.
look
It
back.
really is.
You know,
I mean,
'cause-
when I was in my practice, we were filming that show, and Botch was actually filming at the same time. In the practice, it was very, very hectic too, and it can be it's fun, but it's also intrusive too. So you really have to be a professional with it.
And you can't let the camera affect your decision making, and we're all, again, we came together as a group. We chose this group, we handpicked this group for many different reasons, but one of which is that, I mean, let's face it, we are all at the very top of our fields, and that's not by accident. And so for us, we can make those life and death decisions with a camera right over our shoulder, but you need to be able to do that. Some people might be intimidated by that, and that would be something you'd want to make sure you understand before you get into it.
Absolutely.
And I'll give you a little back insight to that too, because what we're talking about, and this is something that people probably don't recognize when you're doing these kind of things, and that is that, again, our focus is on the patient, but when you're doing these things, you do a take, and you do the whole presentation, whether it's the consultation or a stage of the procedure, and then, as you know, for cameras, they want the other angle.
Gotta do it again.
Right?
They want to
So
get
want
in
another
closer.
angle. So you have to be able to juggle that, understand, retrace that, and at the same time,
Do your real job.
concentrate that the patient is primary, right?
How
So
important is it to have celebrity co-stars? To get your celebrity patients in, to have that?
it's different for all of us because we all deal with celebrities. I deal with a ton of celebrities, but I have to keep all of their secrets. Some of our specialties people are more willing to share with others, right? For me, it's more inside. So the inside industry all knows and all comes to me, but they're less likely to talk about it on
They
camera.
don't want people to know that they're doing anything.
Right. But that's changing. That's definitely changing a lot, and some people are more upfront about the procedures that they're having. But what's significant is for people to understand that, like Jason was saying, everyone is doing these types of procedures and should be able to get good quality work. And it's what we hope to be doing is raising the standard of care and the level of service that should be presented to everybody, and making them understand and be aware of that. So it's not such a secret as to what is good cosmetic surgery.
But for someone who wants to create an online TV series, something like the life and times of a plastic surgeon in like Oklahoma or Alabama, where should they begin?
Oklahoma or Alabama?
Yeah,
Well,
anywhere in the U.S.
They should begin in their office with their cell phone and a patient that's willing to share their story. And that's how it starts. I mean, that's what you should do. I mean, today there's things like Snapchat and little YouTube videos. Everyone should have something like that on their website as an educational tool. And then see if it's for them. Some people it's really not for them, but everyone can do that and at least get their message out. And through video, patients feel like they get to know the doctor. So when they come in, they already feel like there's an attachment, there's a bond. And that's really important, especially when you're doing a cosmetic procedure, because people are upset or disappointed with the way they look, and they feel bad about it. And their greatest fear is they're going to do something that looks worse, or that the doctor really doesn't understand what bothers them or what their needs are. And so we, first and foremost, are really, really good listeners. We listen to what our patients have to say, and then we absorb that, use our professional judgment to help relay the message of what we think will be in their best interest. But we want to be on the same page,
right,
because there's a time between the surgery and the healing and the ultimate outcome. And you want to make sure that that patient is very comfortable during that time and knows that, hey, it may not be perfect, but it's going to be the best that it can possibly be. And this doctor understood what my needs were, understood my emotional state, and took me under their wing and took care of me. And that's what we all try to do with our patients.
So you feel like it's okay to start small. People don't need to feel that they have to be producing weekly episodes. It's okay to start with a 60-second something.
Yeah, I think it's a mistake to think, as physicians, you never start big, right? You have to start small. And it's like what Ray was saying. I mean, the 10,000 an hour rule, I mean, that applies to medicine in general, right? You have to get good and proficient at your field. Then you're doing the marketing. I think that today, one of the things that we do see with the advent of social media being so strong, and the fact that everyone can get something out there, and I think this is what Jason was alluding to, and for us it's a fear that it potentially damages our field and profession, is anyone can put anything out there. And like Jason was saying in a nice way, is they shouldn't. they shouldn't be sharing what they're doing right now. So you have to be ready. First, you have to be a great surgeon, then you have to relay that to the public.
On your current series, has there ever been something that happened where you're like, please don't use this, and you tried to get it taken away, and then it just goes to air?
I don't know. I mean, I think you get to be pretty good in terms of being in front of the camera and not catching yourself and things like that. That's one thing. I was very aware of that, but I told my wife Jessica to be aware of that too, especially with this guy.
I know, Dr. Rey, I feel like you just never know, right?
You know what? We are very real, and the media is your very best friend. But the media gets points when you mess up. So they create you and they get lots and lots of ratings, but when they destroy you, they also get lots and lots of ratings. So if you are thinking about doing television, remember, they also get ratings when they're chasing that ambulance to the hospital. So I'll be very honest with you, we do not have creative rights. We sign away our creative rights in every show we've done, and this guy's done a million shows. So if you're gonna do it as he says, you better be a great surgeon, because chasing that dying patient to the ambulance gives very good ratings. And they will not, we love our friends in the media, but they have a lot of pressure on them too. They will be very, very happy to chase that ambulance.
These days, everyone's looking for a trending
Yeah.
story.
That's right.
And I will tell you this, in 20 years of all of us taping, never once did we say, listen, by the way, can you take that off? Can you please not do that? Can you please not show that?
Yeah.
When we pick up that scalpel, we're fully cognizant that it can go either way.
Yep.
And I'll be very honest with you, I'm Latino, I'm not ashamed of God. And I start my days with a prayer because I recognize in surgery we do not have full controls like a pilot. And when I pick up that scalpel, when that camera goes on, it's by the grace of God that for 20 years, everything for all of us has gone perfectly well. So if you're gonna do a show, remember, there are two sides to the media. They're building you up and destroying you.
So here we are, season 2. You guys have been doing this for a long time. Ultimately, what is the impact that being on reality TV has on your practices?
Well, I'll start by saying, I think that we're all really busy. We've all done a lot of stuff too over the years, and I didn't see this massive uptick in my practice. When the show came out, I think Jason and I talked about this, there was an uptick in things, but we were also busy with things anyway. But also, things have changed, It's not like you're just on TV these days and just, it's the end all and be all. The world has changed, there's much more social media and stuff like that. 15 years ago, like when it first came out, right? Probably a huge thing. I think this time around, not as big an impact, right?
It's different.
Yeah, it's different.
Too many
Remember,
channels.
when Dr. 90210 came out, you particularly and me to a lesser degree, we couldn't even walk outside our house without getting people taking pictures. And
Paparazzi's following you.
Robert got a national TV commercial for something not related to plastic surgery because he was just so famous. And
I'll give you an example. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just saying, I did the first extreme makeover, right? So that's really where reality TV and cosmetic surgery started. And when I started that, I had moved my practice from New York to LA. And it had a huge impact for me. A huge impact, and made me very busy very quickly. And that was because there wasn't anything like it.
No, and the ratings at that time were in the 15 million, whereas now it's different.
Through the roof. So that was an extremely impactful show. And then that was followed up by another blockbuster that made it go worldwide. In the United States, Extreme Makeover was huge. They took it worldwide with Dr. 90210. And for us, a lot of what we did, I think, when we said we wanted to do this show, it was more about, honestly, educating, informing, keeping the ball rolling with regard to the fact that, hey, we have a good time, we're real people, but we also want to continue to show what our fields do and make sure that people understand that and make sure that it's done in a proper venue. And I think that was really important to us. What we have seen from our shows, or at least we keep getting information from all over the world about people saying, I didn't know that could be done. It's so interesting. And people asking all the time about season 2 because they want more. People are sponges with regard to that. And if you produce something of quality, it works. And I think that, we feel like we produce something of quality both medically and with the show.
Stuart, as you I'm sure noticed, we try to have some fun, but we like science, and I always back it up with statistics. The statistics are staggering. Stuart, you're a very bright woman. Americans in general are very bright people. Who invented the antibiotics, Stuart? I know you asked the questions here, but we're going to switch roles here.
I do not know.
It's Fleming, Dr. Fleming, 150 years ago invented. But when we asked it in any medical congress, no doctor knows that. Here's the statistics from the channel. You ready? We are the best known group of doctors in the history of medicine. This is the channel's statistical department. So if you go to Asia, for example, we're in Asia frequently, ask the name of surgeons, they will name us. In Arabia is the same thing. In Europe is the same thing. In South America, there is no home I've ever stepped in anywhere in South America where we're not known. We are in 173 countries. Our other channel, Netflix, we have an audience of 46 million people. We, according to the statistical department, are the best known doctors in the history of medicine. That is staggering. We didn't set out to do that. We just want to create something fun and educational. But it spills to other parts of our lives. Doctors in general are Renaissance men and women. Like Jefferson, a farmer and a politician and so on, so a scientist, an architect. It spills to other parts of my life. I was very impressed by the American system. Americans are very honest people. The American governmental system is the best in the world. There's no perfect system. So
Here comes a politician.
as I go back to my own nation, where the abuses are in front of the whole world, it's the most corrupt nation in the world. And as I try to take the American system, I've not spent one dime, and I almost won last time. So I am known in every single home in all of Brazil, at all social strata. So it goes beyond, because we are all too, there's no way we can handle the demand on us. But outside of our practices, it's amazing how we all have different interests. I, as a politician, I like the egalitarian American system. I like to take that to the world. It's very, very likely that I will win for president at next cycle, 2018. And I haven't spent 1 cent. So television is extremely, extremely powerful.
I think in Brazil it goes Dr. Seuss, Dr. Doolittle, and then Dr. Rey as far as notoriety.
As you can see, it doesn't hurt to be a popular Beverly Hills practitioner in order to launch a successful TV series. But it is not beyond the reach of any physician that has the drive and, more importantly, the resources to get involved. It comes down to getting the right creative producers together to develop a unique format that calls attention to your practice. I want to thank our distinguished guests for sharing their experience, wisdom, and courage in the challenging world of TV production. Thanks.
Stuart, we love our patients at home. If you have any questions for us, just go on our Instagram, Dr. Robert Rey. What's yours?
I'll just give you Dr. Robert Rey's cell phone number, and then we can take care of that.
No, but seriously, any question about hair, about lymphedema, about facial plastic surgery or body plastic surgery, write us please, because we love you, don't we, doctor?
You are hearts for all. You're our super crew. For Aesthetic TV, I'm Stuart Brazell. Stay tuned and stay beautiful.